to Money Talk Viewpoint, the podcast for financial professionals, CPAs, attorneys, wealth managers, and trusted advisors who service the high net worth and family office. My name is Stuart Cruz. I'm going to be your host here. I'm president and founder of Cruz Asset Management. I'm a TEDx speaker, and I wrote a book called Licensed to Steal: How to Turn Wall Street Greed into Your Gain. For those who are not familiar with Cruz Asset Management, we're a boutique asset management firm and virtual family office, which we're going to get into in a little bit. We service high net worth individuals, and we have kind of a unique proposition, which is why we have our guest on the show, Jeff Cline. So a virtual family office is where you would go to collaborate with other financial professionals, because most clients out there, they are stuck with the task of working with their different experts individually. They have to go to their wealth advisor, then their estate planner, and their CPA, and their insurance guy, and whomever else, and they have to wade that world on their own. So we bring all those financial professionals together so that they can work collaboratively on behalf of the client. And that's what a virtual family office is. So that's why I'm so excited to have Jeff on the show, because he's part of our virtual family office arena and one of the trusted advisors that we have at Cruz Asset Management. So yeah. It's amazing. I get the same thing, right? Which again is why we're hired, right? Because they don't want to do it. But it's, again, they've spent their life building up this nest egg and these investments and these strategies and all this pool of capital that I'm investing and you're protecting. And yet looking into these things oftentimes is the last thing that they want to do. So they do.
No doubt.
So we do need, they need somebody that has that passion for it, which is, what does that say about us, that we have passion about these boring topics?
Somebody needs us. And I think, I think what you do, Stuart, with your clients in looking to provide other service providers that can help lift, the financial service burden off of these families' plates, is really important. And, in our business, much like yours, is service intensive. Our clients need us, and we need to be available and we need to be responsive. It's not everyone can do this stuff. You have to, really have to have a, like you, a passion for serving, people and your clients, and really being invested in those relationships, as opposed to, treating it like a transaction, which, back to, previous comments, is how, most people expect their insurance relationship to be. It's a transactional one, not a relational one.
Yeah. Let's shift gears a little bit. Can you tell me, I have no idea, how has technology transformed the insurance business? Has AI entered into your space a lot? Like, that's all the buzz, so I have to ask about it. Like, what has happened over the years for your business?
Well, I think the threat has been that AI is going to displace us all.
Yeah.
And the reality is, AI has been around, quote unquote, AI has been around in the insurance space for a long time. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can go in 5 minutes, get a quote from Geico and not talk to anybody. And there'll be recommendations on what they think your coverages should be. And so we feel, in terms of a threat, it's really nothing new. But there are some interesting, I think, enhancements that can be brought to our business that will only help us, serve our clients better and faster. So I think, there are some tools that we are currently utilizing that are kind of looking to accomplish that goal for us, but we don't see it displacing the human relationship piece.
Yeah, I've heard it said, like, what can AI not replace is the human part of human, right? We're talking and converting and selling policies and discussing economic activities with another human being. And I think on my side, especially the people who would hire me who do not feel super comfortable in finance want to have somebody to talk to about their finance, right? It's not just, hey, can I talk to a robot or somebody? They want to have somebody that can steward them through their unique position and understand that they, what's going to happen with their kids or their spouse or their parents, or, it's a lot. And you have to, they're very specific and very personal things.
And I think you hit a really important point, is that they're very specific. Like these families, it's hard to put them in a box, and that's okay. You've got this, so you conform to these sets of, recommendations. I just don't think that aligns well yet, maybe never, with kind of being able to automate the service and advice piece.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
Maybe it makes the application easier, right? They make the application easier.
Right.
So from a high net worth standpoint, family office standpoint, the complexity standpoint, are there a lot of misconceptions about insurance out there? So what are some cases that you've seen where you were just like, oh, what happened here?
Well, I think all of our clients should be looking to purchase personal cyber and crime coverage. And many homeowner companies I should say, all of our carriers that we work with that are focused on the high net worth niche offer it as an endorsement to their homeowner program, and other carriers do as well. And what is interesting about that coverage is, depending upon the carrier that you're with, the coverage can be fairly broad, where it covers any type of financial fraud or crime, including intentionally sending a wire to someone who was was not who they said they were, being socially engineered, and having email fraud be the incident. So it's incredibly inexpensive and provides, provides important indemnity in the event that you are subject to this type of a circumstance and your funds are unrecoverable. So, and in terms of the incident of email compromise fraud that we're seeing and what our carriers are telling us, it's a significantly growing concern. So we just think that is really important. And a really easy coverage that can have a tremendous impact in the event you have something like this happen to you. Another thing that is very critical for our clients these days is anyone who's buying a house in a part of the country where the insurance market is effectively collapsing. The property insurance market, and Florida is the kind of the state that has been most publicized, and it's still a problem. But Texas, Colorado, California, depending upon where you're buying a home, it can be extremely challenging from an affordability and availability perspective. So we're really telling our clients and promoting to anyone that'll listen that if you're buying a house in one of these areas, that you get on the insurance early so that you can understand what the cost and conditions are going to be. And if it's appropriate, utilize that in negotiating the purchase of the home.
So when let's say I'm interested in a home and I wanted to buy, and I'm assuming we're talking about people buying multi-million-dollar homes. When do we call you? Like,
we have clients that call us and say, I'm thinking about buying this house. We had a client that was buying an empty lot and asked us to quote homeowners insurance on it, which is impossible. We just had to, said we can't invent a home. But I think the earlier the better. And certainly when your home is under contract, immediately begin researching the insurance.
Yeah.
And that's a shift because, in the old days, you'd buy a house and the insurance was the last box you checked because, your mortgage company was saying, hey, I need proof of insurance. And, oh yeah, I've got to get it in place.
Yeah.
But these days it's so material that, it should be addressed immediately, investigated immediately.
I do want to go back to that point because I do have a personal story about that, the cyber crimes. And, it's been said that if you haven't been affected by it, it's just a matter of time. And from personal experience, so here I am in the world of finance, and you can imagine, are pretty protective of our clients' money and how money gets wired out. And from a personal experience, my assistant got an email from me that said, please wire money to Cruise Asset Management account. And these other people had opened up a Cruise Asset Management account in California with Merrill Lynch. And so he wired money from a Cruise Asset Management account to another Cruise Asset Management account. And didn't at the time didn't even require a signature because it was same name registration, right? And he got a spoofed email from me, and he in passing said, oh, the wire went out. And I said, what wire? He said, the wire you asked me to send. And I said, he was just trying to do his job, right? So
Yeah.
he did nothing. He didn't do anything wrong as far as he knew. He got directions from me. He saw me in the office. I was busy. He was just trying to take care of business. And it was just the wrong place at the wrong time. And now, of course, I called Merrill Lynch saying, hey, I'm Cruise Asset Management. And they're like, do you have the EIN number? And it's not the same number. So they won't even talk to me now. They have the money. Now, of course, I said, look, I understand all the regulations. So just please put a hold on that for a moment. And why don't we let our back offices talk? And I ultimately recovered the money, but it's a rarity that happens, right? So it was just super fortunate that it happened and they weren't able to wire the money to the next place, or else I'd have been out those dollars. So
we had a client who was working with a builder. And we've got so many stories of where someone has received an email instructing them to send a wire, and they feel it's completely legit down to the way the person speaks in the email, way they sign off, and then boom, they send the wire. So it's a thing. There's no doubt about it.
And now it's scarier, which from a compliance standpoint, it used to, and it still is actually, a request of when a client asks for a wire to go out, I have to check a box to say, did you verbally confirm with that client? And of course we say yes, but now with all the AI, and my understanding is you only need about 3 to 5 seconds of somebody's voice where you can emulate their voice. And even if I verbally confirm with them, it may not actually be them, right? They say, hey, please send the wire out. Here's the number to verbally confirm. You call them up, and now AI answers the phone inconceivably what their voice is. I don't know what, we're going to have to go back to like code words. You have to use Rumpelstiltskin or Rochambeau as a code word to send a wire out.
I mean, I think in our quest for more and more convenience, I think something's going to have to give. And, I think at some point it's just going to have to be more complex to send money around. Yeah.
You have to be okay with that to protect the money.
Yeah.
So, I'm probably guilty. I know I'm guilty of this, but I haven't reviewed my insurance in a while. Like, how often do you recommend people review their insurance, take a look at their policies, go over them?